participating on sheets A through C in this final skins game. On sheet A, representing Team World, Team Ulsrud. Representing Team North America, Team Jacobs. On sheet B, with the mixed skins, representing Team World, please welcome David Murdoch, Satsuki Fujiwara, Scott Andrews, and Ryo Ichikawa. Representing Team North America, Jeff Stoughton. Rescue, Mark Nichols, and Lisa Wiggle. On sheet C, representing Team World, please welcome Team Muirhead. Representing Team North America, Team Brown. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, this ice will be yours. Good luck, good curling, and let the games begin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very exciting announcement to make. For the past 4 days, draw after draw, end after end, we have been treated to an exhibition of world-class curling, made even better by our tremendous crowd support. So much so, that during this afternoon's draw, we eclipsed total paid attendance of 50,000. By the time each and every one of you is counted tonight, we will have shattered the current Continental Cup attendance by more than 10,000. On behalf of all the athletes, Curling Federation, sponsors, local organizing committee, and the city of Las Vegas, thank you for being here, and it is you who's made this happen. And the saying goes, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We should take home some enormous pride in knowing that you have been a part of curling history. Thank you to all curling fans. You guys are the greatest. Thank you.
Playing yellow. The Ulsrud lead is Havad Vad Pettersson.
I think those draws to the button, those 6 draws played in this round, shows us They're given a little bit of play. These players are the very best. Yes, on Thursday, start of play, there was some ring rust, as you said, Russ. Some players were not really as ready because they hadn't played for so long, but now it looks like they've found their game.
Unbelievable draws. Everything was right there, perfect. Also a testament to the ice-making staff here, headed by Hans Vutter, Gabe Merklinger alongside. These are common green granite stones with a blue hone insert. The blue hone insert's a really, really hard, dense granite, and it really runs straight, so they have to condition the rocks once in a while, and oh my goodness, it's just perfect.
All right, here's something that we haven't seen a lot of. Centerline guard goes up from Ulsrud. Then to the corner goes Brad Jacobs with the first.
I think one thing we have to remember with Brad Jacobs and his style of play is he doesn't want overlap situations at the center line area, so he's going to try to make sure he's got some chances to get into the rings in sort of a more open fashion. Yes, they don't mind playing raises. They don't want to make necessarily a double raise. So corner guard goes up.
And not quite around, which leads us to the game plan.
It's not a bad shot, though, because I think for Thomas Ulsrud, what you want is to control the top of the house. We say it many times, top 12, top 8, that's the button for the leads. Then you play the come-arounds and raises, where for Brad Jacobs, you set him up, you run him back.
The game plan brought to you by World Financial Group, helping families have better financial futures. Jacobs lead Ryan Harnden. So we did a little interview with E.J. Harnden, who throws the second stones, and he was referring to the fact that the All-Star skins a week ago, Brad struggled. Did he struggle with the format, or did he struggle with his game?
It's perfect behind
Russ?
the button.
I think more the game. He just was a little tricky on the in-turn side and the odd ends, like going the opposite direction of this turn at the skins game, and he just didn't pick up on it. And he'd wreck with one, maybe he thought it was the rock, then he'd throw the next one heavier, would breeze by, and then it seemed to get a little quicker, and it just a little bit like Maria Fritz, just couldn't get the feel for the weight, and it was only 8 ends, and you're out of there.
Maria Fritz, of course, who throws the fourth stone for Margareta Sigfridsson.
Don't forget, Vic, that was an all-star skins game, so he wasn't playing with his regular players, and it was a little bit like what we said with Rachel Homan playing mixed doubles. Out of your element in many ways, your routines get disrupted. For Brad, he's got E.J. brushing, he's got Ryan Fry calling. They have a way of working together, and I think that really makes them so much better.
Easy. Back 4.
All the players have really embraced this Continental Cup, enjoying their time here in Las Vegas, and a few more than the head cheerleader, and I'll say that that's E.J. Harnden on that bench when he's not playing. So this is the time, Russ, you and I say nothing. It's all Linda's show now.
That's right.
Well, this is not too difficult, but 8 ends, 32 minutes of thinking time. Team with the hammer has to get 2 to win a skin. Team without has to steal. There are carryovers if the team with the hammer only gets 1 or if the end is blanked. And if we have a carryover at the end, it's a draw to the button by either team's player. They can choose whoever they want to draw.
What's really nice for us is we still get paid and do nothing.
Is that any good?
So there are the rules, and it's a skin of a half point. 5 points are available in each of the games. So that's 15 total. Half point here. And then, of course, we will draw to the button should the final skin not be won. Interestingly, that's how the World and the World Bench got back into it earlier today in the mixed and in the men's game. Schuster against Edin, they both won draws to the button to pick up some big skins, and then, of course, the final skins in the women's game when Jen Jones couldn't make her last shot. So they came from 9 points back to win the last 6, and so they're now within 3.
Great come around with EJ's first one. Perfect speed, perfect line, and then the gimme double for EJ with peel weight. Great shot.
It was interesting, though, the call down the ice from the skipper was, do you want to bring another one around or double? It is with second stones in regular curling, you often see that bailout point in skins sometimes a little later, and certainly Ryan Fry can do it. But not a bad idea to open it up.
It's a wonderful idea because they've got the 2 corner guards. They're also staggered. It just keep blasting away here and no better than Ryan Fry to do it. And you might get a chance to go behind the corner later.
Midt på senteren, ja. Bra.
This is where I think I talked about at the opening of the show that keep those guards as long as you can, because you know there's going to be a steady diet of these from Ryan.
No. Red one.
No, and then just drives it by everything, and the shooter will spill over now to cover the edge of the floor. Ryan has had some difficulty. We mentioned at the Skins he had his wisdom teeth taken out, developed an infection, had to take some antibiotics prior to getting to Banff. And then in the last couple of days, that infection has reoccurred. He had to have a little surgery yesterday here in Las Vegas, and so he's playing through that.
There's that longer guard. Curled a little bit more.
From Torger Nergård, who throws the third stones. You see Torger making his way back to join Thomas Ulsrud. Norgård playing in his second game today, because earlier today with Sebastian Kraut, the third for Nicholas Edin on the shelf because of illness. He filled in for Kraut. Suffering a little bit of dizziness and lightheadedness last evening, pulled himself out of the game and wasn't playing today.
They're going to run the red one in. It's shorter, and it's the right color. But I heard Ryan Fry say it's all or nothing. If you miss this, you're dealt with a buried rock already, and Norway throwing.
Whoa. Yep, whoa. Yep, whoa.
Run this back and catch something, and he does.
All right.
He'll squeeze it out, leaves the two World Stones top and back button.
Out there anyway, I guess.
Great shot, not a wonderful result though.
It shows how difficult it is when those overlaps are started in the end. You get the draw, the come around angle, and if the angles are good, it's hard to make that run back and spill the correct stones, in this case those yellow World Stones.
Hvis du kjapper her, og han fryser der, så har du inn-offen der.
You'd love to guard if you're Thomas to guard the two yellows, but you can't because that in-off's there off the red Jacobs rock.
From just the way they're moving their brooms around, Russ, to hit this and sit there would not be a good thing.
No, that would just set up a nice double, maybe even roll buried. I think they're playing a pretty soft weight here. Looks like heavy weight, but Thomas has a little bit of an outward motion, so he usually throws what I'd call a nice weight or a control weight.
Pettersson is on the right. Left and small on the right through the guard, and he make a touch, and he just did. Boy, he got it started, and they couldn't save it for him, so he takes out his own at the back of the button. And then that Jacobs stone, look where it is. It's just back of the tee line, but it has been pushed over behind cover.
Well, that's a big error, though, because even though this is buried, Hans's ice has got so much late finish. I think Brad can tap this out and sit the deuce.
Well, in particular because Team World, Thomas Ulsrud put up the long guard to make the run back harder, but that means the come around tap is easier. That's a huge mistake from Thomas, and it's almost one where you overthought it.
Yep.
Try to cut down the ice to get the roll, and you have to hit it first.
Looks like a really tight ice. I don't think he backed it up like he normally does.
We've seen that steely stare, haven't we, over the course of the Tim Hortons Brier and the competitions leading to Sochi. Brad Jacobs, this is his first. He does have last rock, looking to score two for the Skin.
Still heavy. Really heavy.
Get out there.
Uh-oh, and they're trading mistakes.
Okay.
Really heavy.
To really make you look bad, you throw that extra 4 or 5 feet, and the desired result at the far end could be 3 or 4 inches wider.
Play that turn.
I'm trying to think of how many rocks have gone down that spot. I can't remember very many. They
No.
played a lot with the other turn. That made that a bit of a guess to begin with.
Yeah, I think they thought it was going to slow down and break because it was crunching the fresh pebble, but
That wasn't that heavy.
That was the weight that I wanted to throw.
Love that interaction. In the front end, it said heavy, 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 and you have to reinforce with Brad. Well, it wasn't that heavy. It makes it sound like you were rocketing it down through the Vegas sign.
you're still my hero, Brad. That's what you have to say. You got some big games coming up. He's been spectacular for 2 seasons now.
So let off the hook by Jacobs with his first. Bowls through, now drawing in to sit 2. 1 would give him the steal of the half point.
Probably play like a
Is it there, the double?
control. What? Control?
Try it.
Went further than he wanted.
I think we have to try it.
Either that or the angle.
But what about that red on the side, the
Control?
Jacob stone? Is that a possible catcher?
Sweep the guard, do you?
I don't think so. I think if you make the double, you'll be higher than that one.
Right.
If you throw a lot of weight and you hit the buried rock, you'll spin to the right-hand
Watch
side of
this
the sheet.
And it's a carryover, right?
Yep.
He'd love it if the guard was moved over an inch or so. This would be the easiest shot in the world. But now he has to make a double with possibly board weight at the most, I would think. Maybe hack weight. Just tick the right-hand yellow first.
Final stone. Right now, it's a stolen. Skin of half a point. Brad Jacobs. Brian Harden on the left. EJ on the right. Get by. Oh! Bang, bang. Squeeze them out. There's the skin. And there is that Jacobs reaction. Wow. And he hits these perfectly, and underneath they go for the 2. For a half point. This crowd has been this big for the entire Continental Cup. What a wonderful 4 days we've had here at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. Now, on sheet B, it's a mixed skins game. David Murdoch skipping the mixed team. Murdoch will represent Great Britain. Jeff Stoughton, Emma Miskew, Mark Nichols, Lisa Weigel making up Team North America. And it was Team World and David Murdoch that had the hammer and playing the yellow stones. Final stone for the Great Britain Olympian. He out of the Lockerbie and Curl Aberdeen curling clubs. Teamed with Satsuki Fujisawa. His lead, Scott Andrews and Mio Ishikawa. A young Japanese couple of curlers from Kurosawa couldn't make the shot. And so it's a steal of a half a point for Jeff Stoughton and his lead, Mark Nichols. Emma Miskew and Lisa Weigel, of course, are the reigning Canadian champions. Eve Muirhead, Erica Brown meeting on sheet C. Eve Muirhead will represent Great Britain. Erica Brown from Madison, Wisconsin will wear the Stars and Stripes in Sochi. And North America's Brown had the last rock, steal of that half point for Team World. And so now, what started out as a 3-point lead is now 3.5. So Team North America extending the lead by half a point through the first end of play. As we welcome you back inside the Orleans. Final night here in Las Vegas. And after Jacobs in North America took the skin of a half point, one more half point is available here in the second, and it will be Team World. Thomas Olsrud that has the last rock, so he will need to score the 2 points playing the yellow stones.
You can't touch it. We don't want to touch it.
We started with 2 guards. There was a center guard, and then the one was supposed to be a little bit further, that yellow one. Nice come around by Ryan Harnden on his second, and the tap by the Olsrud lead was heavy, just rubbed off, and that's the yellow stone. The shooter rolled to the back, 12. And we've talked about the key for Thomas Olsrud, and that's to control the house, and as Russ said, play little quiet shots. And I think with that lead stone, it was a little heavy to begin with, but probably the draw, the cold draw, set it up. That would have been a better choice.
Oh, definitely.
Go.
We watched a lot of this team over the years. Had the pleasure of watching many different styles of events. Christopher Sva is the most improved curler. That's unbelievable. He's making everything. Nice shot. How do you get that out? You hit what you see. You bounce it onto your own possibly. So Brad's going to shut that scoring area down by freezing right on top.
E.J. Harnden.
Yep, line. Hard line.
And the Ryans have got it.
Hard.
Ryan Harnden left. Ryan Fry right.
We're topping. Whoa. Yep. Inside. Whoa.
6.
Whoa.
And tapping they are, and they'll tap it to cover the pin.
All these setup shots that are so crucial to the Jacobs team, because the run back's the easy part for those guys. You need something in front of it that you can run into, and you see where that red one dropped for EJ. It's very usable.
Okay. Come on, pull that.
Two stones Thomas doesn't like. The one you mentioned, Russ, top 8. He also doesn't like that guard out there. He knows the kind of damage that the Jacobs team can do with those rocks. So here comes the run back.
Whoa. Get. Whoa.
Just peels it off.
You like that?
I think we got him. You just play tap freeze.
Rather take it out.
Yeah, I'd rather take it out too. Try to push it over to that yellow, like over that way.
I don't mind this.
Yeah. Or roll. I don't
Roll
like
this way?
Yeah.
got to be careful.
Then the other way.
I mean, I think if we're playing this, I mean, we're just.
Yeah. And then push it, try to
Okay,
over
let's
curl.
just play it.
You like the hit?
Yeah.
I like normal.
Yeah. You know this out? You should run pretty straight.
Yeah, over curl the hair.
The second thing I really like about Ryan Fry and this team, he ends the discussion. He wants the skipper to make the final choice, so he cuts off the front end. At some point, that has to happen. Good job.
Wow. To sit 3 without last rock, looking for just the one that would give them the steal.
Good.
When we talked with Coach Rick Lang,
That's the way I was playing.
Yeah.
he was saying how impressed he was with Ryan Fry and the way he works with Brad and how, as you say, he presents things. There's Rick.
He presents the information to Brad, doesn't sell his opinion, listens to Brad's thoughts, and as I say, then he works with the front end to make sure they have a chance for input, but the input ends, analysis ends, everybody gets back to the focus of making the shot.
Third stones here in this second. It's a half-point skin. Torger, Nergård.
You can get shot rock, but it's something that's going to bother Brad Jacobs, that rock.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to be in, do you?
Speed. Well, his looked like it glided well.
Okay. I'm gonna throw this for tight.
Yeah.
Same speed as it's been, right?
Yeah.
Just line, Ryan.
Just line. Just line.
Clean.
Top 12.
Oh, we're almost to the yellow. No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Full 12.
Coming down.
Whoa,
Just
whoa,
line.
Whoa, guys. Whoa.
Sit.
No, over curling. Pretty good shot. Good, right?
Good job, boys.
I do call.
Across the sheet double. Thomas is eyeing up here.
Hold! Drogorovski rätt på pil!
A little bit dangerous if you don't make it.
It wouldn't be your first choice, and it also isn't really the strength of this team. It's not that they can't make it, but you'd rather be building up that control area.
It's also throwing the turn that won't give you much roll.
Well, he just bangs it right on the beak.
Rip that. Good, just rip it.
Rip that.
You're just gonna make a beauty freeze. It's not even freeze. It's coming around. We can
To here, he's got to come right to there. He makes it.
He's going to use that again, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we
peel
rip
that
it. His only shot is to here. It's really tough.
I think we gotta leave him
I
that.
don't know, he can get his rock and curl pretty good.
I know, but what else is there?
Rip it.
I think that's what we're calling.
If that rock is gone, then all Thomas can really do to become shot rock and try to get his 2 points is get into this area. It's still going to be wide open. Brad Jacobs can rip it, and the most that Thomas can do is draw for a single. So the problem rock is this one right here.
Yeah.
I mean,
So let's just rip it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just somewhere.
Yeah, let's go. Cut.
Give them a second chance to make that double off their own rock.
When we play skins, we often talk about players trying to set rocks up for in-offs. All the teams that have played it so far have been looking at angles and things, and sometimes this kind of shot is confusing for the average curler, but in-offs in skins are critical to success, and Brad's trying to take it away.
Brad Jacobs and his first. And just rips it.
Little corner of that redstone peeking out, not very much.
Akkurat passe. Du får buen med hack der, så går det. Du må spille hack, da.
Jeg tror du må spille hack, ja.
Du må ut av 4-fot, skal det være noe verdt. Ja.
Og hvis du treffer den nå, så ikke det krise. Treffer du den, så har vi...
Oh, not much at all. This is Thomas's specialty, though, that showing the appropriate weight here. It should curl here, but they haven't played the spot. So how much is it going to move?
Well, similar to playing the first stand, and we said Brad Jacobs played this side of the sheet, and it was a pretty new spot, a bit of a guess, and wow.
Yeah.
You really can't see that. It has to curl past the rock in front of the house and the ones in the house and just catch the corner.
You'd love to throw soft weight to get the maximum curl, but you'll never move it far enough.
Pettersson, Sva, big scrub for them. Nergård, by 1, by 2, by, oh, not quite. He touched his own top 4 and out it goes.
Very close, but that was such a hard shot. You had to get a little bit of curl to touch it, and then just a fraction too much curl misses.
Nearly made it anyways off his own.
And he touched up the red stone, the Jacob stone. It's the shot rock, the steel point.
Well, but yeah. So do we want to be like here, Fry?
I know Thomas can throw it hard, but I don't think he can make that.
You want to be like here, Fry?
I've seen the calendar. I've seen the calendar.
Here, Fry?
I think higher.
Well, the higher it is, the easier the draw is.
Well, it depends which way you go.
What?
Like if you're out here, you can
Oh,
go
I see
here.
what you're saying, yeah.
Guys,
You can throw
Anywhere
the
in there, Cups. Just give ice for it's ice for a little bit outside draw to the button. So your draw to the button was there.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, I like it. Let's go.
They have spent a lot of time chatting, and that was EJ yelling down the, put down the broom. I think they'd already come to the conclusion they wanted a guard, and then they were nitpicking a bit about the ice. So they're trying to make this guard a little wide to make the come around for Thomas to the 4-foot, to the button even tougher.
Yeah, I'd like that. It'd be better to leave a hole, and then when Thomas comes through the hole, he ticks his own yellow one and has to kind of roll in. Makes it a lot tougher.
halfway.
Okay, line's a little tight.
Tight.
Okay, over and off. Over and off. It's not gonna. Over and off. Guard's not gonna do much. Sit.
We're real tight.
Okay.
Sit.
Could have used a good foot more ice there. This shot would be a lot harder than it is, even though it's still hard.
So cold draw
A little tight.
to get 1 to force a carryover.
Right at the broom.
And he needs
Just
a
didn't have that.
nice bite of the button.
Yeah, yeah,
I happened to see Thomas's draw to the button in practice, and he took edge of the 8. So he knows that lane, but he doesn't know this one. Just a tad slower here, I'm guessing. He has to get pretty close to the guard, too.
You think it'll curl that much, will it?
Just.
So final stone. It's a half-point skin. Right now, it's a stolen skin by Brad Jacobs as he sits back 4-foot. Boy, Pettersson and Sva have backed right off. And by it goes. And so Jacobs, Team North America, will steal the half point. And Ulsrud looks confused.
I think that's better than the double. To be honest. He's got to wick this pocket.
Det er mer køl nå, det er køl som bare rakker. Det er første som er sykt bra, liksom. Så is litt.
Let's continue with our updates, and we'll check in on the mixed skins game. Team World is skipped by David Murdoch, who will represent Great Britain at the Olympics, as he plays Jeff Stoughton, Emma Miskew, Mark Nichols, and Lisa Weigel. After Team North America had stolen half a point, the angle and coming in off of, and he doesn't, and that redstone top edge of the button, it's another steal of half a point for Team North America. It was a 3-point gap. And now it's a 4-point spread in the race to 30 and a half. On this final night, the Continental Cup from the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. So back-to-back steals of a half point, and here in the third, once again, a half point is available. And then just that little rub on the second stone of Jacob's lead, Ryan Harnden. Once again, Team World will have the last rock, playing the yellow stone, so they need to score 2.
Well, so far for Thomas Elsrud, it is his 4 shots in these first 2 ends that have been all misses, and that's been the reason the score is the way it is. First end, I thought, set up quite well, and Thomas got a draw in absolutely the wrong spot. Last end, I thought he didn't pay enough attention to the setup, so it wasn't just his stones. He threw the first one pretty well. It was just so difficult.
Tried that really tough double from Torger. Once that was missed and they were really hooped, they couldn't do much about it.
Freeze the other side?
Yeah. You like freezing on the intern?
You want? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Well, Team World has a stolen back-to-back half points, and that is Eve Muirhead from Dunkeld, the reigning women's world champion, ahead of Erica Brown. So that's why it's now a 4-point lead, 26-22 in favor of North America.
That's great shot making.
E.J. Harnden.
I think Thomas Elsrud probably does feel a little pressure tonight. We know that Eve Muirhead has a good chance of winning. She's the reigning world champion, so even though Erica Brown has a great team, it's a tough battle over there. Jeff Stoughton has a wonderful mixed team, and he's won mixed before. Even though this is skins, he manages those mixed players really well. So I think you had to expect Team World hope that Thomas Ulster could put out a lot of skins in this game, and right now it's not happening.
Yeah, what a team Jeff Stoughton's got there. First of all, Jeff's the hottest curler on the planet right now. Emma Miskew, Mark Nichols at second, and Lisa Weigel. My goodness. I'm a David Murdoch fan, but he's going to have to make a lot of shots.
What if you're running into the pocket?
Might be a little early.
Okay.
Right into here.
Normal, he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about keeping the guards as long as you can. There's a nice tight one in there, and that's there for a reason for the Jacobs team. EJ can run this back. He's not going to overthrow it either. He wants to hang around with this one he raises.
Little heavy.
Yes!
Yep.
Yes! Yes! Hard! 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 Hard!
Whoa!
Run it back, bang, bang, and they'll get rid of the backing. And for the moment, Jacobs, North America, sitting the 2,
Pretty good.
looking to steal again.
That's great curling. Perfect guard in the right spot, tight. 2 perfect come-arounds, 1 frozen by EJ, and then the run back sticks it. 4 great shots from the Jacobs team.
Redstone top 12's a problem. The guard's a problem. Trying to decide how to make something out of this. Back to our point, if they're trying to set it up, but they're getting into trouble. So now it looks like a bailout moment. But if you start bailing out, well, you're probably looking at a carryover.
At best.
Probably frustrating for them right now.
But at the same time, considering what's happened, maybe that would be considered a success.
Quite true. Absolutely.
Klarer du å komme til skjett på den, da? Nei, skjett! Ja, det klarer vi.
The one thing Thomas can't do is give up a steal. That has to be the, instead of trying too hard for deuces, you just don't give up that steal. Don't put another half point in the bank for Team North America.
It was interesting, Linda, earlier today in the skins games. Nicholas Edin called a timeout. And Peja Lindholm went out, and while we don't know what he said directly, we assume that he probably said, look it, play the safer shot, get the carryover, go to the draw to the button. And what happened was they won that draw. They won the points. Maybe that same thing, that same philosophy has to be applied here for Thomas Ulster.
I think you have to go back to Skin's thoughts, and that is when you have the hammer, you have to leave yourself 2 ways in, Vic. So if you leave yourself 2 ways in on your last shot, Thomas can at least ensure a carryover. But yeah, you can't go crazy now with the score the way it is. You have to always be thinking not too much risk.
Firm normal. Okay, push me.
Hit and roll, right?
Firm normal.
How much scoreboard watching do you do here in this, Russ, when you, on a last night, you look over, North America's at 26, you're the world. Does that affect your judgment and your decision making?
Oh, for sure. You have to know. We always say your strategy is based on the scoreboard. Here, it's just one big scoreboard. There's 3 of them out there, and you have to look at that whole total. Oh, beauty. Why hit and roll buried when you can hit and roll bury 2 of them?
Triple, I think triple's there. Triple's not there. Not through the hole.
We said, too, it's a little bit difficult to play that side, to get that outside to roll in,
good, no?
and he did it beautifully.
What? I think so.
Du treffer tynt nok der! I hvert fall flytte han ut! For høyt!
For høyt? Er litt tynnere enn det, altså.
If you angle this back correctly, Can you touch all three reds?
Don't think so, Vic. I'd be tempted to get rid of that center guard, run it into your own yellow one. I think you can only get one here. No, got two.
Torger Nergård.
What's that? I guess it wasn't there. No.
That hit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nice shot to open it up and get rid of those reds.
Right there. Okay. Right in.
Still a wonderful opportunity here to steal again.
A little bit more. You think it's game here now?
I think it's real.
Little game, we'll get it there.
Just have to watch the angles. That Yellowstone is not fully open, so you want to make sure you put this in a place where they can't run anything into this and actually make the shot easier for the other team.
How good does that make you feel when you're throwing and your front end says, we'll get it there? You just put it down and we'll do the work.
It really does. It really helps. You know you've got that little bit of extra leeway, and it's all about confidence.
And here they go. Wow. One more, fellas? Sure, why not? Oh, goodness. And it'll hang on to the back of the button.
Good sweep.
Wow, did that curl. Even with all the brushing.
Wasn't light either.
They had to get it by. That's why they were brushing. Just kept going.
A little too deep, though.
Oh, yeah. I think there's a pretty simple double here, and then you're looking at a yellow that's shot rock and buried.
Boy, this end has turned around, hasn't it?
Has it ever?
Sva, Patterson, angle it back, and away they go.
Now, this would be an interesting call. In a normal game, Brad would walk up there and run that back, but they don't want carryovers. So what they have to do here is try their best, even if they give up a half a point.
I don't know that yours will curl like
Keep trying here to get another valuable half point on the board for Team North America. With the lead, be aggressive.
Still not a great position for Thomas. As I said, that yellow one is not fully open. So if you can bury, it's almost like you have two guards to work with if you're Brad. So not a ton of risk. We just saw one come down and curl like crazy, so you know you can get some curl.
It'll definitely bury here. See, Brad Jacobs holds on to the last half of the handle only. Then when he puts his regular twist, his regular motion, he gets a little more leverage, a little more spin.
Wait till the end. Got room, guys.
Got lots of
Tons
room.
Line. You're gonna have to go back forward, though.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta go back.
Gotta go,
hard.
guys. Go real hard.
Take a look.
Right up hard. Right back there.
Yep.
Gotta be right back there. Yes! Hard! Right up hard!
Hardy, go. Go.
And they'll drag it back. Back 4 foot.
Terrible.
Well, didn't do anything here.
What?
No. Couldn't fall, Fry.
No, I can't fall fry.
I think mine ground.
There's the point. You talked about the release, and that was not going to take the same path as Ryan Fry's. And they kept brushing to try and get the more curl to make Thomas actually play a softer shot, but still didn't curl enough.
So it's going.
Buried, but able to enough distance there between the two reds to sit two if he makes this perfect. These are the ones Thomas is usually great at. Really, T-line weight is almost enough with the brushers.
Backline. Whoa, 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 whoa. Tolv, whoa. Vekk. 12, bra fart. Vekk.
Ja, bra fart.
Ikke
Sva, Patterson,
Ikke dra, vi må køle en mil.
back right off it.
Talk about releases being different.
And right by, a little rub. And so far, Thomas Olsrud has not had the touch. And this, we've seen this look
Yeah, he took care of that.
in 3 ends now.
Way too much weight there, really.
So we're playing for some money here. The winning team will split 52,000, the losing team 26. There is a bonus, however, to the team earning the most skins over the course of this final day. And right now, that $13,000 would be in the pocket of the world team, who lead by 1 point.
Just line.
Oh, wait.
T-line.
You gotta wait.
No. Back, we can wait.
More line.
Yeah, we can wait.
You got more line still. You got it. Okay, now.
With draw
It's
weight,
getting
it'll come
better.
though.
Whoa.
Drum still. Wait.
Whoa. Yep.
Yep.
Hard.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
God, Brad. Sorry, Tom.
That one took a nice move. That one, it was like the same line.
Fry, but Fry's handle is like.
Erica Brown has seen nothing but yellow. Eve Muirhead, yellow. World Stones so far has given up back-to-back steals in 1 and 2. And here again, Eve Muirhead has put lots of pressure on the skip from the Madison Curling Club, the U.S. representative in Sochi.
It's not a lot of room to get in here and get a roll.
And bump and no. Too thin. Steal 1. Eve Muirhead gets a third straight half-point there. Final stone on the way. A half-point skin available here in the third 2. And right now, again, it's a stolen point. And once again, Pedersen and Sva have backed right off this stone from Thomas Ulsrud. And, oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's really close. I think the center line stone can be taken away. It's the 2 others.
One red.
That might be worth
I
a
don't
measure.
recommend doing that, by the way,
No.
using your brush. If
But
it's
that-
close enough, you call out the measure.
But that center line stone isn't
This one
isn't a
right?
factor. That's going to go. I think
Well, you can move one of them.
that's the one.
I'll take the best one.
Pick one.
Real close, I think.
Yeah, on TV it looks. I don't know.
What do you think, Linda?
Hva er riktigere fart, da?
I think it's either red or yellow.
Could be red, Vic.
I have no idea.
What are you
Might be
going,
yellow.
going to Russ Howard School of Broadcasting? What is that?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, could be, possibly.
Did you?
That's gold medal analysis, that is, boy. 2 of you.
I think Sharon Morrison is going to let us know.
Yeah, you bet.
You know what, Ryan? This might be my first shot of the match, you know, in the third end.
Oh, poor Thomas.
Yeah, he's
Too bad
struggled a
for
little
us.
bit.
Might not be.
Too
Yeah,
bad
it
for
might
us.
not be.
Too bad for us that skins games in the last 2 ends. always. To the 4.
So from the World Stone to the North America Stone, Sharon? Oh, and it is yellow, and so it is a half point for Thomas Ulsrud here in the third, and that is a huge half point.
Good end.
Quickly, let's go to the final stone in the mixed game. This is David Murdoch and his final stone after North America and Jeff Stoughton have stolen back-to-back points. This has to sit and will not. And so we have our first carryover of any of the 3 games. And in the fourth there, they will play for a full point, and North America will have the last rock for the first time. It's our final night here in Las Vegas, and we're playing skins right across the board. Thomas Ulsrud scores the half-point skin, and a little nod to the world bench. I'm back in it. It's still Team North America with a lead by 3.5. In a couple of weeks, it'll be our first weekend in Montreal for the Scotties. Our coverage begins February the 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. As we look at downtown Montreal. And this weekend, though, in our final night here in this beautiful facility, the Orleans Arena. It seats 7,700 for hockey, and the Las Vegas Wranglers. They'll stuff 9,500 people in here if they have a boxing match. My thanks to the gentleman that on social media that tells me that the single fare in Montreal is $3. It's not $2.80, and if you want the week pass, it'll cost you $37.50. It's nice, and it's appreciated that you're listening and correcting.
Center guard, corner guard, come arounds, and now the run back.
Yep. Hard.
And then across the top, and then leave the shooter out in front. Now I have to make a correction here too. My mistake. So the 2 stolen skins, and then it was a carryover in 3. Team World and Ulsrud just got the single. And so here we go to this 4th. Means we're playing for a full point. And it is Team North America, Brad Jacobs. That does have the last rock. They have the Hammer playing the Redstones, so they will need to score 2. And I apologize.
It was the excitement of the measure. That was very close.
This might be too good. This could over curl and set up a double. Has to stop.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the break. It seems in this particular round that people are struggling to pull back on that draw weight.
Yeah.
We saw David Murdoch be heavy, and on this sheet we're not seeing many of those ones because a little short's okay. They keep sliding T-line or even further.
Curl up.
Oh, yep. Whoa. Yeah! Whoa. Yeah! Whoa. Yeah! Yep. Yeah!
Now they got him.
Yep.
Oh my, did they wait. I tell you what, that's great line call. As you said yesterday, sometimes the thrower gets more excited because it's his stone or her stone, but it's the line call from Brad Jacobs that got them on late. And away they go.
Extremely close to the guard. Very, very...
Brave?
Yeah, that's the word.
Or something else, yeah.
I think EJ was probably right with the yeah.
Well, to EJ's credit, they had it made, even if it gets by an inch or 2 wider. Yeah, I think Brad just knew that spot, and he knew he was going to get by, and he kept it in front of the T line this way too, which helps.
And looking for the roll underneath, and they'll sit there, maybe a half stone, maybe a 3rd stone covered. I
can get to nose too.
I asked you earlier today when we were watching Margareta Sigfridsson,
He's just going to plop one around.
who struggled early in her game with Jennifer Jones, if in fact Margareta would be better not having the hammer, playing the skins game without last rock. Do you think the same might apply to Tom Ulsrud, Linda?
No, I don't actually in this case. As Russ said, I think the carryovers are the good thing for the world, and I think in many ways it's easier to carry over with hammer just to make sure you can always get your 1. So I think in this case it's actually easier to set up with hammer.
Yes.
Heavy.
And at this point it's scary territory because we're kind of looking at a conventional end with 2 already in there, and now you're grappling, trying to find a way to get a roll to get out of trouble.
You need some type of double or an error out of the last 3 North American shots, and there's a good chance when that guard's that long, they're not going to miss one of these next 3. It all started with that come around that was too good. It curved a little too far, set up the double.
Play the same weight.
You want that same weight?
Yeah. Save!
More.
No.
Save, wait!
No, whoa. Whoa.
Other way.
Brian Fry.
Yep.
Change of plans.
Roll it. Anything. Go.
And trying to roll it away this time.
Sorry, guys.
Hair more weight, I believe.
Easy treffpunkt.
Han tjukkere enn halv.
Ja. Tjukk halv.
Bit of distance between those two rocks, and remember back to the first in when Thomas took tight ice, he actually overcurled and almost missed the rock entirely. We'll see how he manages with this one.
Throwing the intern here, it'll be a flatter roll. He won't get quite as much action, but he will hit it at a higher angle.
So Skip Stone's here in this fourth. It's a full point skin.
Helt bortover.
And over. And won't quite pop it. Jacobs needing 2 for the skin.
Control. It's gonna run dead down the street here.
With normal? Middle of the rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, you thinking that?
This is real good, too.
You have to be careful here. You see a lot of teams hit and roll buried and then they high five, and it's you know, a nice shot. There's separation. There's no double. Thomas freezes right into that one, which would be almost on the button. And then how do you score 2? You don't high five, Linda?
I just had a very funny picture of the high five. High five and then the double against you. And
Yeah,
it's all over.
That's a low five.
You look pretty silly.
Okay.
Right on the nose from Jacobs, needing the 2 for the skin.
Det er Priemer.
Men du kan godt gå inn. Det går hvilken hånd du vil.
Nei, jeg tror innan køler litt. Jeg tror Altan...
It's a chance for the double here.
Altan tror jeg ikke køler mye. Noe sånn is.
The funny thing, Thomas had the tough start in this game, and at some point after 4 misses in a row, you start to question everything, including the ice. And this is certainly possible, but I think he's looking at these and really wondering what to put the broom, because he is maybe a little inconsistent with the release as well. So you're grappling with a lot of things in the mind when you start to miss.
Halvtreff gjør det med alt. Tynn alt. Halvtreff!
Nei, tjukkere enn det.
Well, Erica Brown has a chance here to pick up her first skin after having the first 3 half points stolen, as she sits the shot stone,
A little less.
top of the button.
Your draw. Yeah, I know.
Debbie McCormick, the 2003 world champion, holding the brush and refusing to move it for her skipper after Erica Brown said a little less. No, Skip, this is our draw to the button, and we told you that all 6 skips prior to the game starting in the draw for the last rock actually hit the button. Final stone on the way in our game as well, looking for the deuce. We'll have a carryover there on the women's game, and here, bang, for the 2 for the skin of a full point. So a very good-looking first 4 ends as Jacobs and the team from Sault Ste. Marie pick up 2 points. And as Team North America getting closer to that 30.5 needed to retain the Continental Cup. Only in Las Vegas. A wonderful 4 days comes to an end tonight here at the Orleans Arena and the Continental Cup.
actually?
If you're calling out like that, you better come through.
Hey, you called yourself out. Hey? She called herself out, so she...
Nå I siste omgang her nå, så hadde du alltid gått på den der som la deg ute.
Ja, jeg er enig i å slå og så la han jobbe fra kontor.
Roll out, you roll out, no big deal.
There's a lot of little things that have been going wrong for Thomas Alsrud. That last come around that they played with a little rub off leaves the hit. And this is exactly what Brad Jacobs wants to be doing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And Thomas Alsrud to take a long look at trying to blank this end.
Rulle corner. Ja, nå prøver de.
Yeah, here we
That's
go.
what they're talking about.
Hvilken vei vil du rulle om? Hvilken hånd? En. Ja, men cornerguard, han tipper han har
Desperate
senter, da.
times call for desperate measures, and that is this particular situation. The world team is needing carryovers, and they cannot afford to make a mistake.
Yep, yep.
So do you think that was the instruction to all the skips? I mean, maybe except Eve Muirhead, who seems very much in control of her game against Erica Brown. But if you are Thomas Alsrud and David Murdoch, do you believe that David Hay and Paya Lindholm, who are handling this world team, told them that exactly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to think so, Linda.
Yeah, low risk approach. If it looks like it's setting up well, keep going, but bail out a lot earlier than in the first half.
You take the world team, if they all
Lots of line.
win this skin,
Line's great.
then they've got to still win the 6th, and they still have to win the 7th. So you might as well just carry them over and then win the 7th. You know, it's just don't lose the skin. That's the key. And the best way for Alsrud in this case is with hammers, keep this open somehow.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Great shot, Eve. Great throw.
Could even run the yellow one to the corner rock.
Sweet.
Bak opp 4.
I think it's just Thomas's nature to play the finesse shots because he's so good at them normally. Well, this is a tough shot.
Christopher Sva. Russ, earlier you said the approach should be, and the way to think about it is as if you're playing the 10th and you're down by a couple and you need 2 points. So that's a good way to think about playing skin.
For sure, yeah.
Right? So let's think the other way now. What is the thinking here? You're trying to defend a lead. I guess you have to assume that you have to defend a lead and you want to play it open.
But yeah, in this case, it's Thomas should say we're tied and we have hammer. And we have to score 1 point here or blank is fine, and then go to an extra end type thing in a normal game. So just you can't allow Jacobs to sneak one in there and steal again. So it's that center guard that worries me for Thomas, because Brad Jacobs is doing the exact opposite. He's doing the formula, I have to steal, because he's trying to get a valuable point. So he loves that guard out there. And Thomas just ignored it. So we'll see if this guard, leaving that guard out there, costs Thomas the skin.
And when you're having a team that is also making mistakes, so you leave the guard, you call the soft shot, the soft shot is not made, it just makes it a magnified problem, because now Ryan Fry can put another one in there.
No, 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 no.
You have to play the scoreboard, you have to play your team, and in this case, Alsrud has to keep it more open.
So this is where we sit right now, with Team North America at 28, needing 30 and a half to retain their cup. The difference this afternoon was that late push in women's play by the world. They'll need that kind of push now to get themselves back into it.
Elve 12. Whoa, 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 whoa. 12. Helt vekk.
Helt vekk. Vær med.
Nei.
Gå solid gjennom.
Has to cross the line to make contact.
Vær med.
Hardt på rød.
Nei, ikke ingenting over. Kjøp.
I don't know if there's a double and roll. Just make the double.
Jeg har, sorry. Litt sein også.
Now, as I look across the boards here, and I might need your help, Mr. Science. It's I've got 9.5 points left on the ice in the remaining ends. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9.5 points. So if you are the world, boy, you do need them all. A reminder too, if we should end up tied, then the cup would stay in possession of Team North America as the defending champion.
Another ho-hum double buried here. Ryan. But guess which rock's the problem rock? That one he ignored earlier in leaving that yellow center. That's extremely buried, that one.
Talk about whether to play the quiet shot or the run back.
Hvis du flytter den en stein.
Ja, du har. Nå har du det.
Ja, men jeg mener hvis du flytter den en stein nå, fryser oppå der nå, hva gjør han da?
Jeg skjønner hva du mener, Torge, men...
Hvis du legger det her nå, hvis du frystapper her nå, dytter den kanskje en stein ned hit.
Ja.
Sitter den her, hva gjør han?
Ja, han kommer en til oppå, eller om jeg vet ikke, det vet jeg ikke.
Ja, det blir spennende å se.
Ja, det blir spennende.
Let's go back to what you said earlier then, moments ago. If you are trying to defend, wouldn't you rip the center guard?
Yeah, exactly. And I try to rip it towards that rock in the rings. You might get lucky and sit second shot, the one on the right-hand side here. And then Brad Jacobs, let's say you miss it, Brad Jacobs has to guard. If he's going to steal, he has to guard it. If the guard isn't perfect on this swingy ice, you've got a maybe an easier shot than you have right now.
But again, as Russ says, Lynn, it goes against his nature, right?
It does. And actually, he's not getting the performance now from his team. I think it's been a frustrating first half for them. And so probably he's trying to figure out a way to get the right shots out of his teammates as well. That does change things a little bit.
Whoa, whoa! Whoa, 8! Whoa, 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 lang kule, lang kule.
8-28.
Lang kule.
Begynner å bremse oss. Nå bare 6.
Ja, for å få det ut i åpne. Hard! Kom inn. Okay.
Little bump back still leaves the Jacob Stone.
Så du slipper
Feel
det.
that. He's got a tap. He should have a double. If he misses, we just guard. The best he could probably do would be tap it to there, sit there, and make it so we can.
You don't like this, Fresh?
Well, if he makes the double, we're.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You want to leave him that double?
No.
Neither do I.
You just
Peel
peel
that
it
up.
You don't want
off.
to try to.
It's almost that same situation as before.
You want to try to roll in
The
there.
best way for
Nice and
Thomas
easier
to
right
score
there.
is to make the double and actually get a
You
skin.
rip it.
He's got to tap this to here and sit here, so he's got us both ways, and then you can come draw into there.
He's gonna corner freeze, right? If
Then
if
we
rip-
guard.
Sorry.
Then we guard.
Yeah.
Have a draw.
And then he.
He'll have a draw. He might have a draw.
Might have a draw for 2.
Yeah, or a run.
Okay, so what are you thinking? Rip
That's my thought. Just rip that.
You guys don't want to try to thick this into here?
If you want.
No?
If you want.
Okay, if you don't want to do that, that's fine.
I think it's.
What do you
I don't
think?
want to waste
What do
too
you
much
think?
time
I
on
just
this.
think we rip it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just, you know where to put it. Yeah.
Well, you look at all the shots that Thomas has, and you try and take away the one you think he has the best chance of making, and they decide that's the double. The double would be to sit 2.
Ja, det er et
I think
alternativ.
he plays that run double, or he freezes.
I think he's going to have to draw.
Okay.
May run.
Like this, right?
It's gotta either run or freeze, right?
Yep. Gotta go. Gotta go.
At least it's full. I thought you said whoa.
I think Thomas is going to have to run that one straight back. That problem rock that's been ignored.
Control. If it's a blank,
If he makes it, it's a
We get hammered back.
we get hammered back.
really good shot.
And that assessment that Brad and Ryan and the team made, this is not the forte of Thomas Ulsrud. Right at the beginning, you said, Russ, he loves the quiet shots. Again, it's not that he can't make them.
No.
It's just not a regular thing that he plays.
Ja da, må spille bakkant.
And it looks like now they may be playing very quiet way. Was that the signal?
I think, but it's still a raise, I think. Maybe he's thinking, you know, if he misses it offline, it's in the ring somewhere. It's not a bad idea. I don't think it's the come around tap. It can't be because you don't need chisel your own out of there. I think it's the straight back with a boardish, hackish weight.
Ja, det på fart!
It's not a bad idea because you should put a second yellow in the rings.
Wow!
I think he even pointed to the back of the house,
Wow!
though.
Wow! 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 Ja, 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 Egen!
So it's a raise and roll the shooter away to open up the yellow-red combo.
Shot stone still belongs to Brad Jacobs.
Bite the back four. Even if we're here, you have to hit and roll in.
Either that or guard and let him come off his own.
I think he'll make that.
Yeah, it's pretty natural.
I like this.
Back four right here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bite the back four.
Right in here somewhere.
like, yeah,
That's the
like
best way to counteract it. There would be no raise double, and then when Thomas makes a successful raise, his thrown rock's up there somewhere, and you only score your single. Which Thomas should be fairly happy about
I
anyways.
think that's enough. Yeah.
Bite back four. Nice shot, Thomas.
That was a nice shot.
Yep.
In the women's skins, with a full point available here in the fifth. That red stone at the back belongs to Erica Brown from Madison, so she's in a steal position here.
Time. No, I'm saying I think I could get round there, my intern. I can see this.
Erica Brown just threw the guard, the red stone out in front to try and protect any sort of movement of the yellow onto the red.
Brad Jacobs and his last. Eve Muirhead wants to talk with Anna Sloan.
Roll fry.
Great shot.
Oh, and it'll just stop at the back edge of the four.
I think that's an easier shot though, from a one.
Okay. How far do you need to move it?
3 inches.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just playing a heavy draw. Yeah. This is definitely an easier shot than the draw.
Okay.
I need to move it half a foot. Not even that.
So it's a change of the shot, but really not much change in thought process. It is still for the carryover. On the
So
left.
you'll get a chance to watch a couple of shots here almost at the same time. Right now it's a stolen point for Erica Brown, and it is a full point.
Oh, Eve is just trying to raise for the carryover.
They'll touch her stone up from the top four.
Line's tight.
And picked up by Vicki Adams and Claire Hamilton as Thomas Ulsrud gets ready to play his last, and she will be light. And so that is a big point for Team North America. It's a full point. And you can hear now there's hand signals being used as Torger Nergård calling on Vad Pettersson and Sva, and that will be and force a carryover in our game, our featured game. So we'll carry over, play for a full point in 6. But after not playing very well to start, Erica Brown and her American champions from Madison, Wisconsin pick up a full point. North America getting closer.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Orleans Arena, and we want to quickly go to this mixed skins game as they play in the 5th. And it's a skin of a half point that's available. The North American team of Jeff Stoughton, Emma Miskew, Mark Nichols, and Lisa Weigel have played very well. Going against the world side, skipped by David Murdoch, along with his lead, Scott Andrews, and from the Kurosawa team, Satsuki Fujisawa and Miyoko Ichikawa. But he's been left with this kind of shot just far too often. Too many stones in play, and so that will result in another steal for Team North America. And they so far are shutting them out. So that's 2.5 points and another half point on the total as Team North America now at 29.5, needing 2 points. And so far in this evening session, just like they did earlier today, dominating early. And when we look back at all-time results of Continental Cup play, we go back to North America winning in Regina in 2002. We made the switch to a lower scoring last year in Penticton. North America won there. And so should Team World come back and we end up tied, well, then the tie means that North America would retain the title. Rick Lang is the coach of this North American side, along with Captain Steve Brown, the U.S. Olympian. You have to be happy, obviously, with the performance tonight, but this afternoon you were probably happy with the early performance. You just weren't happy with the finish. Are you worried about that same kind of thing happening this evening?
Well, it's still there, Vic. We haven't got it done yet, and that quick turnaround we saw this afternoon could easily happen tonight. I've been involved with a number of these things now, and it's amazing how it can all change on 2 or 3 ends.
Rick, were you a little surprised that some of the world teams seem to be fairly aggressive and not trying for more carryovers?
Well, you know, I guess they were close enough that they didn't figure they needed to use that strategy to just try and carry over and run the table. I'm surprised they're not doing it now. I would think that they'd want to just kind of get every point all on one shot at the end of the game. So I'm a little surprised they haven't changed strategically in the last end or two.
Yeah, exactly, Rick. I have to commend you for the mixed doubles picks you made. What an unbelievable team Jeff Stoughton's got there.
I know. That's, you know what, they're all having a lot of fun. I think that's a great format in this, to have the teams playing with different people like that. And in making picks, you want to, I guess, get people that are going to get along and have fun and have similar styles. And obviously, we got lucky on that one this afternoon and tonight. The mixed teams have been a lot of fun to watch, and I think they've been playing great.
Let's look ahead because 9 of the 12 teams here you will see again in Sochi. Just talk a little bit about the 2 Canadian teams, Jennifer Jones and Brad Jacobs.
Well, we're thrilled to have both teams. I think they're both the best teams that we could have come up with out of the trials, just based on their performance in the trials. They were both fantastic under the, you know, the biggest pressure you're ever going to face. And I think they've showed here this week that they're continuing at a very high level of play and feeling very confident. I think we're really looking forward to Sochi and that kind of continued level of play from them.
Rick, we always thank you for being so good to us and joining us with your insight and your information. Good luck and safe travels to Sochi.
You bet. Thanks. Well, we'll have all of Canada's back, I know, when we're over there. Thank you.
Indeed. Yep. Thank you very much. Rick Lang.
Okay.
So with the carryover, we're playing for a full point.
I think so.
And here in this end of play, it will be Team North America and Brad Jacobs that has the last rock, so they will look to score the deuce.
Yep. Thomas has made the switch of trying to play a little more open. Hard against this Jacobs team, though. They're trying to run it back. They're looking for the roll on the shooter.
Well, they're just gaining momentum every game here. It's starting to look like the Trials playoffs.
So with North America sitting at 29.5 points and a 1-point skin available here, as Rick Lang suggests, a little surprised that the world isn't doing everything they can now to force carryovers on all the games.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's no turning around now. You don't care whether you score a skin. You just can't give one up. So blank is your friend for sure.
And, we have to think, Linda, that Pea Lindholm did suggest that. I mean, he's won this a couple of times as a coach.
I guess I was just surprised at some of the mindset, even in the first part of the game, especially on that mixed game. It's very complicated, and you have to leave yourself some chances.
Sit over there. All right. Light?
Yeah, they're down, maybe.
Sorry, guys.
Well, the bad news is it's a rollout, but that rock is behind a guard, so Thomas is trying to decide what to do. Well, they will hit it.
Jeg er myk i slippen. Vekk! Jeg er jævlig myk i slippen. Kommer til å kølle. Helt vekk! Ikke noen ting.
Very nice.
You like the hit and roll or right here?
Hit roll.
Let's go around. Let's go.
I think the come-around's a shot because you're trying your best to get the deuce here to get that skin.
This curl's nice,
Gotta be fighting for.
This curl's nice, eh?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. A little bit.
Line's good. Line's good. Just wait.
I'm worried about over curl.
No, wait. Line's good.
Whoa, whoa.
Where do you want it?
Top, 12 is good.
Over there.
No, whoa, whoa. Okay. Whoa. Good shot. Good shot, man.
Shot, bro. Shot.
Real good
It was
shot.
important to be in front of the tee line. Looks pretty covered.
Om det er noe, så er det en smule utsida.
Hæ?
Om det er noe, så er det en smule på utsida.
Det er ingenting. Det er likt begge veier.
Da tør å spille med 11 bare da. Du kan jo spille med...
It's over-buried.
Han nok den uten akkurat ut av...
Thomas might be better just to freeze to this. Tap at a foot.
Kan fryse over hvis du vil. Og dra rundt den etterpå.
Drepe den med myk hack. Jeg bare ser fra hack. Det er 2 valg da. Enten kan vi prøve å dytte den ut av...
I know it's a long guard, but a hack weight hit is a tough one.
Oh.
Hæ? Køler opp. Klarer du køler opp med riktig fart? Ja, med riktig fart. Du noser den med riktig fart, hvis du vil, hvis du må. Ja, men det er følsomt på linja der, da. Ja, det driter i. Ja, 11!
The North America bench realizing that they're that close. 1 point away. 30.5 is the magic number.
Du må la den gå helt av seg selv til han passerer godt over. Skal jeg prøve å være langt nyksnitt.
A huge shot here. You miss this, you could give up that winning point.
Ja.
Yep.
Ja.
12. Hard.
Ja. Hard.
Pettersson and Swan. And it by the guard. No.
Well, they might get lucky here.
And they'll bump their own up.
Yep.
And it will just go a little too far. The shot stone remains Jacobs, top of the 8-foot.
Shot. We're shot. We gotta nose that, don't we?
Knows the one in half.
Nose it. He doesn't have
Blir
to
feil tanke.
Well, thin half, tight double. The only other shot is try to come down to it.
Then he comes.
And he's good. Well,
He might get
good luck with that guard.
Yeah. Timeout.
Not yet. Not yet. I don't think that intern draws there.
I think we hit this.
You want to just whack that?
What does he got of that?
What?
What does he have of that?
Oh yeah, I guess he doesn't have.
Not even like a sliver?
Just nose this?
I think so.
Okay, let's talk about the weight here. I think I like half.
He knows that, and what they're realize is it's hard for Thomas to come down and actually freeze because this guard's in the way. You can't make that shot. There's too much curl because of that guard. So just nosing it, and then Thomas almost has to hit and roll. So if you get this maybe an inch buried, I think Thomas might have to play the tap freeze or something, Linda.
Why were they asking Linda about how much they can see of the red stone?
Well, if you can hit the red one and get some sort of rolls, it's a lot different situation. That rock is still buried, and the guard was ticked. I still don't understand the shot call on Thomas's first.
No.
I mean, if it's only open a sliver now after the guard was moved, it was really over buried and very difficult shot. So a chance to sit to with this hit.
Forward. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Hard.
Brad Jacobs and his first to sit 2 with last rock. It's a big skin. It's a potential cup-winning skin. Erica Brown, boy, she started very slowly, giving up the first 3 skins.
But you talk about not understanding. There had been a whole pile of chances for Eve Muirhead to tap a rock up, and they've been running at hit weight into those situations. And one more time, this time she has to do a combo.
Eve Muirhead. Run it back. Oh, what a beauty. The reigning world champion.
Great shot.
Will pick up the skin.
What a great curling shot that was.
Made it tough on herself and then made the hero shot.
So it just stops the momentum of North America for a moment.
Jo, men altså, så lenge jeg skjønner hva du mener, så lenge hvis du på utsiden. Hva treffen for å doble? Kom igjen. Ja.
Thomas! Som du säger, Torge. Vi måste ju chansa lite nu också.
Vad tror du om isen? Du har ganska mycket av den, alltså. Du har det du trenger för att dobbla.
Får du inte ut av huset, eller?
Again, this is, for all intents and purposes, this is the cup in this game right now. With 1 point on the line, and Team North America 1 point away from clinching. It must be a steal or carryover for Thomas Holsrud.
Jeg tror du ser nok, altså. Ja, men tror du ikke det lett? Du må ha shot uansett. Det ikke det letteste slaget å gjøre frysen.
Tough to make a double off a rock that you can't even see.
I think you have to freeze to that back one or just tap it and roll buried. It's probably easier because the freeze you have to go out in the carpet. So I think just hit it and roll underneath and force Brad Jacobs to make the double.
Ja, hvis vi gjør en perfekt frys.
Ja. Ja, hvis du drar hit.
Hvor ofte setter han den oftere enn mommeren, tror jeg?
Ja, men han gjør akkurat det samme slaget der, og da sitter han foran deg.
Ja, men her dobler vi jo...
Men vi får den ikke ut.
Jo, vi får den ut.
Da må du spille hvert fall.
Vi har det, Sva!
Det er døde steiner, altså.
Ja, men det er jo en tynn dobbel.
I love that double, but boy.
Tredelt, altså.
Ryan's first one was overbearing, and when he took the guard, yeah.
I thought he was going to draw down to it, but no.
You can see that back shot rock. You could definitely throw Thomas especially a little hack weight or hit and roll buried.
Det er nesten mer enn du trenger for å få undersida der.
Jeg synes du må i hvert fall spille med hardere enn vant.
Jeg tror, altså den dragningen der ute er jo... Du må ha is utenfor 12 fot, da.
Du må få helt ut da, ikke sant?
Det er opp til deg, altså. Der også 15, da.
I guess the other option is you could throw like a hack weight and redirect, roll in behind, hopefully frozen. Double's tough.
Jeg tror du sa, skal det vært noe, så må vi få den ut. Vi må drepe dem.
And playing a freeze down to maybe that stone at the back edge of the 4, something like that, doesn't work for you? Or?
Yeah, I think it would, Vic, but you've just about got to go right off the sheet to put the ice down.
Okay.
You probably just aren't comfortable with it. I thought he might just tap it and roll partly buried.
Tap his own up, you mean, or tap that red stone back?
I think you could hit the red and roll in, Linda.
I think so.
Not easy. Either is this.
I think this is the hardest choice.
9-2.
Tightening up the ice, Torger Nergård. It's the final stone for Thomas Olsrud. It's a 1-point skin and nothing at all. Pedersen, Sva going to move over. Needs to come over. Touch something on the way by and not enough. And that will give the skin and the win and the Continental Cup as we do the Las Vegas Leap here at the Orleans Arena. So back-to-back wins now for Team North America. And so they will take home and split the $52,000. But remember, there's that additional $13,000 bonus that will go to the team with the most skins. As we congratulate Team North America here in Las Vegas. And Jacobs will throw his stone into the bumper. He picks up the skin. Team North America picks up the win. They are the Continental Cup champions.
Go on, boys. There you go. Super John. Great plan.
Team North America celebrating a Continental Cup win. Ryan Harnden, EJ Harnden, and their version of the Lambeau Leap. Back-to-back Continental Cup wins, so they will take home the big prize money of $52,000, $26,000 going to Team World. But there is that additional bonus now of $13,000 to the team with the most skin points won, and presently it's North America 13 to 10.5, and still 6.5 skins points left on the table. So now we go to David Murdoch in this mixed skins game, playing Jeff Stoughton in a game that has just been absolutely stone-filled. And move it far enough, and he does for the 1, and that will force the carryover. So David Murdoch taking the half, and 7 will be worth 1.5 in a game where Stoughton and his team of Emma Miskew, Mark Nichols, and Lisa Weigel have won everything so far. As we welcome you back to the Orleans Arena, Sunday night, our final night here in Las Vegas. And here in this 7th, the skin is a full point. And it is Team World, Thomas Olsrud from Oslo, that does have the last rock, playing the Yellowstone, so he'll need the 2 to win the skin.
Tap it back button's real good too if you got the line.
We talk about the fact that Team North America has the advantage in skins because they see it more. It was interesting though when we had that theory about keeping it a little more open if you were Team World, because in the 6th and in the mixed game, David Murdoch played splits, ticks with the leads rocks, and there we saw he had a chance for the carryover. So again, just a little surprised they didn't utilize some of those skills earlier in these games.
Ever.
And the last stand, really, I was very surprised that Thomas Olsrud tried that very, very difficult double.
It's like he kept going for the deuces as opposed to the carryover, and that's his nature. That's the way that team's wired. They've always been a high-scoring team, but you've got to play that scoreboard.
Yeah, that was the odd thing for me. I mean, I almost, as much as you don't want to, I would have almost all come out and just run everything.
Yeah.
Try to, the minute I had the ability, I would have peeled everything off and kept it open.
Exactly, and then sometimes it makes the other team do some uncomfortable things trying to change it up, and you could, all those carryovers. It's amazing how many times you can get carryovers if you start to hit. Especially with these stones too, they're so lively. A couple doubles and you're out of every end.
It's pretty thin each.
Thin half.
Hard. Yep. Whoa. Yes! Yes! Yep.
Attaboy.
We've said it before, this is going to be a weapon and something the other teams in Sochi will have to beware of. This ability to run stones.
Shot edge.
I think Thomas Olsrud is already tired of it, and he's not even in Russia yet.
That's right.
He's had enough of them in this game. Beautiful play by EJ.
You mentioned a couple years ago that he was a good player, but he actually wanted to get that much better, which is obvious is what he's done with that change in delivery.
He used to slide quite crooked and went to a CCA camp, a Canadian Curling Association camp, and got a lot of help in trying to straighten out the body. At the time, he was an all-star 3rd at the Brier, even with that delivery being a little bit different. And what a great commitment the team have made, but in particular EJ, to make that huge change in the delivery.
Yep. Whoa. No.
Curl.
Sit. Oh, yep.
That'll just spill, and there's another player in Ryan Fry. The growth in him, personally, the growth in him in his game. And there are many out here who have played with him, played against him, and they'll admit that and say he's really come a long way.
Has he ever? These inserted rocks, I mentioned earlier, the blue hone inserts, if you throw it hard enough, probably noticeably more than normal take-up weight, somewhere between just almost peel or peel, it won't move at all. And all these teams have learned to throw it accurately and hard, and it takes the guesswork out of reading the ice, and the runbacks become that much easier. And in the last 2 years, I don't think there's anybody in the planet that's made more of them than Ryan Fry.
Tried for the tick because it was going to miss.
Wow. I guess we want to be top
I guess
four.
if you're Thomas, you say, well, maybe we're getting them all out of our system now because they've had a tough game.
They really have. Yeah, their round robin game when they played head-to-head in just a normal curling 8-end game, that was a wonderful battle.
Got room. Room. Yep. 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 Hard, guys. Got room. Just line. Room. You got room top now. Top 4. Top 8. Yep. Top 4. Yep. Room. Fight the top 4. Fight the top 4. All you now. Line's perfect.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Great sweeping, guys.
You got it, right? Good job.
Well, our next stop in our season of champions will be the M&M Meat Shops Canadian Juniors. We'll have the women's final next Saturday for you at 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be in Nova Scotia, in Liverpool. And after the first couple of days, 4 teams remain unbeaten, 3 men, including Braden Calvert of Winnipeg, Ontario's Ryan McCready of Ottawa, and New Brunswick's Rene Como of Fredericton. In women's play, only Alberta's Kelsey Rock of Edmonton is unbeaten so far.
Nice shot by Torter to stick that.
That spot, eh?
I know. Think about it for a second.
I think you play that, he goes around.
Did we run it?
Right?
This is the same shot as in the first end.
What's that?
This is the same shot as in the first end.
Pretty much, but with we played control weight.
I don't mind playing control again
Okay.
because I don't think we're going to lose both.
Oh,
then we're going to run it back.
Just keep
on
the
last
kicker
one.
right
I like
there.
that.
With that?
Yeah.
You like that, eh?
Yeah. Just that nice control, Brad.
Yeah,
Nothing
same.
too light, eh?
Yeah.
A little worried about this spot, and then in this tight to the center line, they'd start to go a little bit.
That's exactly what we just said.
Okay.
Yeah.
All 4 of them know this area. They both talked about it at each end. That's what makes a great team, is understanding the path you're going to be using. They're also going to try to hit it right on the center line, roll over and tick their own, and then they'll have a usable rock if Thomas does bury one.
Well, look at that. Quick look, and if you're counting, they're all there except one. One is at the bumper. That's how many stones in play. In the game between Eve Muirhead and Erica Brown.
Hard. Woo.
And that yellow stone, one sitting 2. That's Eve Muirhead. So right now, remembering that it's the money, the bonus that we're playing for now. And with a skin of a point, Erica Brown from the Madison Curling Club, Madison, Wisconsin, trying to run something back. And it hangs on. Very nice. And that will force the carryover.
Nice brushing on the last hit to get the yellow one to go far enough so the red are sitting first and second shot. So a come around being played by Thomas.
Linja er grei. Linja er bra. Eller vi om noe her, faktisk. Må gå på fart. Linja er bra. Ja, det er garn. Ja, så får du full 8, eller bit av 8, eller? Kom igjen da, få en bit av 8. Bit av 8 fot, i hvert fall. Kom igjen da. Kom igjen! Har. Jeg står på, så. Har den dagen i dag, beklager. Jeg har faktisk skrudd av.
Tough to get a steal out of this. Unless you might as well just go right there.
Right?
I think you just tuck a piece. Go
Think
hard,
so?
Go hard for the steal.
Yeah.
Leave him this little. But if we're biting button,
I guess if we're here, that's okay.
I'm gonna call a timeout.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call a timeout.
Timeout.
Got it.
So the winning coach, Rick Lang, will come to the ice.
Yeah. I think it's either we go straight in. I don't mind that. That's what I'm thinking, even like an inch over this way and let them play a double.
It's either that or we could even be like here, eh, guys? And force them to draw. Or tap, yeah, tap. That's a tough tap. That's a tough draw.
It's either here or
it's just tough to get a steal out of this,
kind of
right?
touch the center line, right?
Rick, what do you like?
Why not just
Bury
what you
one?
play in a regular game? Bury
one.
Here.
Touch an inch of the white and let him draw the side.
I guess if we bite the button perfectly right there is pretty good too. Like just full 4.
Well, yeah, we just can't allow him to. We can't be like here.
I personally like EJ. I like EJ's call like there. That's what I personally like. Like then we make him make a run back.
So go right here. So if he knows it, then this counts it, right?
Yeah, forces him into a real tough tap.
Real tough tap, and this draw. I mean,
So almost half.
Yeah, half in the 8.
So, but if we do what Rick
Less.
said, like if we go here, how's he?
What's he doing? He's
gonna
coming
draw
to your
here.
back one and nibbling the button over there.
because he's trying to get more.
He's just gonna.
Touch
We're
the
just gonna
top
give
of
him
the
side
double
of the
you
pin.
buried.
I'd rather him play that.
We give him
I
the
think,
whole
I think
side.
for him drawing here, I think that's.
I think
his
this
shot.
is his easiest shot because.
And he likes those shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Just to tap it and follow, you mean?
I think make him make something a little like
That's
something a little.
like, I think
Real
if
tough
you
on
want
this
to throw
intern.
any
Real
shots,
tough
you'd
touch
want to
shot.
throw the side.
2 spots that I've
So I
illustrated.
guess we want to bite the 8 or half.
And this is the
half in the 8.
same spot we played here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Where we
Obviously,
took
this
there.
one's hard to beat for sure, but if it's not in the right spot, it's going to be an easy spot. And then if you go here, you're kind of choking everything off. If Thomas makes a double, he won't be shot rock.
That's a good shot.
And then Thomas might have to come down 1, 2, 3 like this and tap that rock up.
I think, yeah. I'd rather him throw a tap or go way out wide.
Well, this number for Olsrud doesn't surprise me.
If you're scouting him, and one of the reasons they had that chat was draws, not bad for Thomas, 46% on the hits. That's why Brad and the team did talk about leaving him a hit. Whereas Brad, look at that number. We see it fairly often, 96% on his hits.
And he struggled from first stone. The player numbers are brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
A little bit early. You can.
For line.
It's gonna over curl. Over curling big. Yeah, gotta go on. Gotta go right in.
Now, I think.
So now they're trying to get it to the top button. We had the 2 choices illustrated. It's over curled for the first choice.
These though, so he can't play the run back. Yep. Yep. Wow.
It's too bad.
Didn't quite end up where they wanted it curled early, whether it was self-inflicted or they didn't take enough ice.
Ja, det er det, men jeg tror hvis du setter den på, så det der og backline.
And for the second straight year, the Continental Cup will go to Team North America
Vi tåler å rulle bitte litt.
in a wonderful competition here in Las Vegas.
Ja, jeg går til plan B her, spiller den draffarten vi har, spiller backline her nå.
And really, you know, when you look across the bench and you look at the team on the ice, they've gotten really good performances, I think, from everyone. I mean, everyone's contributed, whether it be John Schuster, earlier it was Erica Brown from the American side of things. Jennifer Jones came through with a big win when needed.
If we go back to formats, the only format the Team World really was successful in is singles. They were definitely dominant there. Every other format, North America has done a great job.
And they took 5 of the 6 points available. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Dear. Just not his night. And the puzzled look continues. Over to that mixed skins game right in the middle of the Orleans Arena. Final stone for David Murdoch and his team that includes his lead, Scott Andrews, as well as Satsuki Fujisawa and Mio Ichikawa from Kurosawa, Japan. And it is a big skin. 1.5 points available here after the carryover. And that jam will result in the steal of the skin for Stoughton. And that will give the bonus of $13,000 to Team North America 2. So they win the cup, they win the bonus. And so congratulations to Team North America. So each person on that team, as well as the captain and coach, will take home $2,500 from here in Las Vegas. I said to you in the break, I think a little bit of the edge has gone off this world team when Team North America clinched the cup.
Yep.
But again, so many rocks in play. When you would think we'd be basically throwing them up and down the sheet. So we're playing the 8th and final end here.
You want to go for the blank and draw the button?
You like here?
I like that.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the end.
Linda, when we began on Thursday, let's wrap up the story. We talked about what some of these teams would like to take away from this event, in particular the Olympic team. So let's look at, well, you pick a team and tell me if there's anybody that you think may be in, have some questions about their game heading towards Sochi.
I think, unfortunately, there are a few. We mentioned the women's side, Margrethe Sigfridsson coming off a European win, and we really thought they would be strong here. And Maria Pritz, the last rock thrower, struggling terribly with draw weight. And if there's things that you want going forward into the Olympics, it didn't really matter if you won the cup, but people like Margrethe and Nicholas wanted to come and have some great performances that instill confidence. And I think it's been actually the opposite.
You look at Thomas here too. The way the Gold Trail season had gone, he looked like the team to beat going into Sochi. Certainly not today, but there's lots of time left. Things can change. You get on a roll, you get used to the surface. You like a couple of rocks, make a couple of hit and rolls. Things can change in a hurry, like that.
And then there's the Great Britain team of David Murdoch. And that constant change, you know, Tom Brewster is playing here, but he rode the Pine, basically the 5th player the most of the Bonspiel season. And you wonder if, in fact, they still have the winning combination on the ice. And then what about Eve Muirhead, Linda?
I think they look very good. I think in the latter part of this game, it's the disappointment, as you said, about the cup being lost. The first part of this game, I thought Eve played the best strategy and made some great shots. She is the defending champion, so we know people will go out on the ice with a real thought to defeat her. It's tough on them, but I think Eve looks good.
I do too. I think the 3 team members below Eve, if they play well, she's the team to beat.
What about John Schuster from Duluth? Talked to him, very confident about his team. He came through that last chance qualifier in Fusen, and here has looked
really good. Yeah, he's not going to be a favorite by any chance, but John's made a lot of shots. They were in a lot of close games here. I think the underlying thing with John is his 3rd Olympics, and that has to help. Going there the first time, you're pretty wild-eyed for a while. Oh, boy.
And Erica Brown. Again, it depends which Erica shows up. We've seen Erica at times very good. It's maybe the style of play that you would question.
Well, she likes to draw. She's so good at it. And I think the key for that team is the 3rd Deb McCormick, who is a world champion herself as a skip. Is a wonderful player. If she can take the pressure off Erica and let Erica play the shots she likes, they could be very successful.
I think this team's stronger than they were last year, but Mary
So's everybody
Ahmad.
else.
Yeah, Mary Ahmad, Bing Yu Wang, you know, Jennifer Jones. Oh, my jumping. It's just what a field.
Right up hard.
And around they go. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Jennifer Jones. And she started off a little bit. They admit they hadn't played very much after winning the trials. Started very badly against Eve Muirhead, but seemed to gather their game back.
And you look at things you want to have in place so that you have confidence regardless of the pressure and the context come Olympics. And they have 4 beautiful deliveries, and they don't break down under pressure. And Jennifer is very smart. She knows her angles. All those little elements will help them win in Sochi.
And so when they get to Sochi, this is who they will play. And she will open against Bing Yu Wang, who was a last chance qualifier, of course, the former world champion. Then right away, look at the people who are here that she will hook up with again. That's the schedule for Jennifer Jones in Sochi. And finally, we turn our attention to Brad Jacobs, and I don't think there's any doubt. I'll suggest to you right now, there may be others that people will pick, but I think that he looks terrific.
Well, pressure does funny things, but you're right, Vic. And, you know, we're all saying the Olympics is extremely difficult to win, but so's the Canadian trials, so's last year's Brier. And to win the Canadian trials 8-0 with that field is, wow.
I think when it comes to Brad, it comes to the whole package. The team are wonderful, so the only thing you worry about is the emotion that comes along with the Olympics. So you've got Ryan Fry, who is now very steady, very calming, and then you've got the support staff like Rick Lang. So I think that whole package looks very positive for Canada.
Got to get off the guard here.
Never. Don't touch it, and it does. And all on its own.
Hard, Ryan. Go, Ryan, go. Hard, Ryan. Let's go.
To the back edge. And so the schedule for Brad Jacobs, when he gets to Sochi, he will open against Johnny Jahr of Germany, who was a last chance qualifier in Fussen, then Switzerland, then it's Edin, Sterne, Olsrud, Murdoch, Schuster, and the Chinese. I don't know, Linda. I think that may be the sleeper team. The Chinese had a very good ball in the Spiel season.
And I think teams like China, they're fairly well known, but relatively new on the scene, and they could kind of go under the radar. If you don't get a lot of attention, you just get out there and play your game after game, get a few wins. You never know what can happen.
Depends on the ice, too. If it's a little bit straighter, I think China's chances go up. Soft release, and they can get rocks to curl where some of the other teams can't.
Thomas, yeah, yeah.
And one of the reasons that so many of those Olympic teams have come here to Las Vegas is because of this gentleman, Hans Vutrick. He makes the ice here. He'll make the ice in Sochi, and listen to the crowd and their appreciation as they see him on the big screen. So they get an idea not only of the arena play, but also the ice that they'll face. And congratulations to Hans and Dave Merklinger and the entire crew for a wonderful 4 days at the Orleans.
And a big thank you, because they basically sleep with the equipment to make sure that things go well. It's a 24/7 job for a week, and such hard work to make it happen.
Okay. Yeah, I like.
Just line it room. See?
Yep.
Room. Just line. Room, guys.
Partly in the forefoot here, even the top half, just an inch under cover.
Top 4. Call the line.
Should finish really good on this side.
Yep. Whoa. Room.
We can wait now.
Line's
Wait
pretty
now.
good.
Line
Real
can't
good
be
line.
better.
Oh.
Yep.
Just on his game.
Yeah, they really are.
Hans Vutrick, and there's his ice-making partner, Dave Merklinger. And when you say they sleep with their equipment, not far wrong. And I remember in Banff just a week ago, Hans wasn't happy with the way the ice was freezing. It cracked, and he actually set up a cot in the Banff Curling Club. Over to the women's skin, Eve Muirhead, Erica Brown. And it appears, it's really close for shot stone, but it's a long, long raise being tried here by Muirhead.
She had to make one in a similar spot 2 ends ago, but this is so long. Just a paper narrow or wide, she hasn't got a chance. Running it into her own in the 8-foot.
And Sloan darts back to the back of the house to call line, and it won't get there. And the shake of the hand, it appears that it's a 2-point skin for North America to wind it up. And Erica Brown and Eve Muirhead will once again have a date in Sochi. Brown, the U.S. representative, and Muirhead, the reigning world champion. In many eyes, the favorite going into the Olympics, will represent Great Britain.
Same shot? Yeah. Just straight to the tee line, I guess, eh?
So let's check the game story in this featured game, and it has to surround a little bit. Some of it has to be written about Thomas Ulsrud.
It really does. It's a shutout at this point because Ulsrud has struggled. Second end, he was heavy with the draw, gives up the steal. Sixth end, I question the choice, tried a tough double, gives up the skin. Really has been a tough day for Thomas Ulsrud and Team World.
The game story brought to you by M&M Meat Shops, frozen food at its best.
Where is it?
Wait only.
Maybe here more.
Thomas hanging in there, though. He just made a double run and sitting 2 here. Beautiful shot.
Line's perfect. Right over curling.
Looks a fraction heavy at this point.
Going to that back one.
Back 4. Or to the back. Sit, maybe. Sit. Sit. Okay.
Samme fart som deg, da. Toller.
Ja.
Ok, gi et ærlig forsøk. Få en til Torge, køla litt. Ja. Kan spille løsere ned også, hvis du vil. Bitte litt mer, da! Trenger bare å flytte den. Så hvis du trenger å treffe high side, så er det bare å flytte den stein.
Quiet tap here. A nice way to finish for Thomas.
Just has to move that Jacob Stone back edge of the button, push it back, and sit right there. As the crowd gets into it, it's been a wonderful week, and they've been very appreciative, very knowledgeable, many of them coming from Canada. And that is the way to do it, and that's the finish. That's what Thomas Ulsrud will take away, and he'll see Brad Jacobs in Sochi. And final stone on the way. In the mixed game, the final stone to be played in this year's Continental Cup. David Murdoch, and it'll slide by and bring an end. There you go, with a little help from his Scottish friend. Murdoch. And the Continental Cup comes to an end here in Las Vegas. So congratulations to Team North America. They defend their Continental Cup, and as well they'll take the bonus for the most skins won. Final score 36-24. North America a winner here in Las Vegas. The trophy presentation when we come back to the Orleans, the Continental Cup on Canada's sports leader, TSN.